honestly, I just think it's confidence. I am clock aware, and when the clock is low and I catch the ball, I'm not afraid to let it fly this season. I think so. I think it's just having the confidence behind the line this season is a little bit of the difference, but I don't know.
Where's that come from? Where's the confidence come from?
I don't know. I just from within, I feel comfortable out there. I mean, being a fifth year player, the game's definitely slowed down for me, and I think that's been a big difference.
You guys are currently top 10 offensively efficiency-wise. I know in the South Dakota State game, you guys weren't happy with the way it felt out there offensively in terms of rhythm and everything. How has that improved over the year?
Yeah, I think every single game we've kind of gotten a little bit more relaxed, and like we got definitely rattled losing the first game of the season, but I think that we kind of settled in and realized it's okay to drop one game if we learn from it and improve on it in the next game. So I think that honestly was a blessing in disguise for us, and I think it's going to pay off in March. So
I don't know how much you have watched UNI's win over Iowa State, but they kind of tried to wall off Crooks and just let their backcourt go at it, and they did for the most part. What's the key to kind of slowing their backcourt down? I know that you guys will probably pass some things off and whatnot, but what's the key to kind of slowing them down offensively?
yeah, I think the last few opponents we've had, we've definitely toned in on our screen defense and just our communication. As far as efficiency and proactivity to communicate those screen switches, whatever. And we're definitely very versatile defensively, so I think that's going to help us a lot to continue to kind of just capitalize on being so versatile. And Keani Lockett's been doing a great job this season. I think she's going to be a great matchup.
You guys really embarrassed them last year in Omaha. Are you cognizant of how much maybe motivation they'll have to try to repeat that feeling with you guys at all? Does that matter at all?
Yeah, I think honestly, if I was them, I would definitely come in. Be ready to kind of maybe try to make kind of a statement with us, and they're on a roll. So I think we both have a lot of respect for each other, though, and it'll be a great game.
How different are they than last year? Whether it's personnel or momentum this time of year or you name it. How different are they than maybe a year ago?
I think honestly, the biggest difference, just kind of briefly scouting them because we haven't had a lot of prep time, but I think the biggest difference is just their confidence. This season, they've had some big wins, and that's all the difference the team really needs. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Mal. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Firepower.
Yeah, yeah,
But the other part of it is too, you kind of put a historic beating on them last year.
yeah.
What's it like going in to face a team that you only meet once a year, but that you're coming off a really big win against them, and they probably want to rectify it in a meaningful way, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it as a staff and just said, I don't know that either team can glean a lot from last year's film because I don't think we're that much better than them. And, other than probably their motivation being maybe just a little bit greater based on how poorly they played and how easily we won. But, I mean, I think there were a few things that offensively that we did that really caused them more problems than I thought. I didn't think we could score 115 no matter how bad they were on, so there were some things maybe, but I also think that they probably threw that film out, and I'm not going to put too much stock in what happened because, yeah, you're right. They've beaten Iowa State at home. They won at Green Bay. I mean, they've played a really good schedule, and through that schedule, Maya McDermott's averaging over 24 points a game, and Cable Lobby's shooting 50% from the three. So they're, they'll be, and they've had more time off. It'll be a week for them of prep. So, and we've got a much shorter prep. So, I look for it to be a good game. I mean, usually when we go up there, it's highly competitive, and they'll have a plan. A little bit based on maybe what they didn't do last year, but I think they're playing at a better level. And last year, I think they came in a little wounded, not just physically, but I thought they had a couple poor performances leading into that game.
What's the scouting report on Maya?
Yeah, well, you just can't relax. I mean, she's a little like Stephen Ashworth, where she doesn't stop, and she, you know, she'll probe, and then if she doesn't like it, she'll throw the ball to the post and go chase it, and like Steph would do, just stuff like that. She's really good at that, and she's jittery. Like taller players struggle with her, I feel like, because they're, her short, her movement in short space is good. So, yeah, and then she's got a great floater game for her kid her size. Like she really shoots the floater well, but we can't. And we can't give her stuff in transition. We got to make sure that everything she gets is earned. But she's fun to watch if you're not having to prepare for her.
How big of a game is this for you guys? I know it's not
Yeah.
the Big East tournament or any game, but how big of a game is this going to be for you guys on Saturday?
Yeah, I think everything between now and Christmas is difficult. I mean, this game will be tough. Then we go to Green Bay, who beat us last year, and Wyoming, UCLA. So I mean, not to disrespect the last few opponents, but like this is a much harder stretch than what we just went through, and I think our players understand that, even given last year's result against them. I mean, it's a big game. I mean, we need to continue to build on some of the things we've done. We've been better rebounding the ball. I think that's a positive, and I know we played some really good rebounding teams the first couple weeks, but I still feel like we've made a jump there. I think that's going to be important, and just kind of figuring out our rotation a little bit, and yeah, it's not an easy place. It's not an easy place to win, like I said. Plus, they've been off for longer than we have. They'll have more time to prep than we will.
I know the opponents probably had a lot to do with it, but you guys were really disappointed with the way the offense kind of looked and flowed, especially in Manhattan and Brookings.
Yeah.
What's been different, just about the rhythm of the whole system that has allowed you guys to be as potent as you've been the last stretch since you got out of that one?
Well, I think Kansas State was probably the best defensive team we played too. That was a big factor. Their length really bothered us, and I thought they were just ready to play. So that had a lot to do with it. But I do think, I think that was maybe a good lesson too, that we were a little bit, our ball movement wasn't as good as it needed to be, especially against an elite team like that. So not that the teams we've played since then have been as elite defensively, but when you can't score because you don't move it well enough, I think that's been something that we've done quite a bit better since that game, is just not relied on one-on-one plays, shot making quite as much as we did maybe through the early first 3 games.
I don't know. I don't know if you actually got a steal off of it, but there's been moments in kind of each of these last handful of games where your Keani or Lauren have been really brave in terms of like jumping a kind of a take it for granted pass
Oh, yeah.
in the backcourt.
Yeah.
Like, is that intentional or is that their instincts?
I think it's their instincts. So we're not telling them to do that. I mean, Lauren picked up a foul,
Yeah.
or maybe 2 so far this year doing that, but we've also been rewarded a couple times. But yeah, I think we're a little more first of all, I think Lauren's gotten better defensively. Keani gives us a more disruptive defender than a lot of things Emma could do, but I think, and then Mal, I think we're a team that can force a few more turnovers than we have, and I think that's that's good. I mean, yesterday we had 9 steals, I think, against a team that was averaging 10, and they only had 3 against us. So that's, again, we're never going to be a team that forces 20 to 22 turnovers consistently, but I think we can be a team that forces a few more. And I think, like I said, I think Keani, Molly's always been pretty solid there, and then I think Lauren's gotten better defensively.
What's the value in that, do you think? You probably have to just ponder it, but in your ability to create just a couple extra possessions through that kind of stuff. I mean, you don't have 6'4" at the rim, so I imagine like anything that can get closer to the basket is harder, so your pressure Do you have any idea of what the value could be in terms of what you?
Yeah, I agree totally. If you can get 2 of those a game off steals and runouts or pick six, I mean Mal's been good at that. I mean she had a couple steals out on the floor yesterday. Yeah, it's big because, like you said, otherwise, if you're having to constantly work to create a shot, if you can get two freebies a game, you know, and those are momentum plays too in our sport. It's when there aren't a lot of dunks. I think a pick six is an important momentum changer.
Favorite Christmas song?
Oh, I'm gonna go with Hark the Herald. Yeah, thanks. All right, thanks guys.
Thanks, Wayne.
Thanks.